Hello, and welcome to GBRI's course on waste management practices. I'm Rebecca Joan Brown, and I will be leading the course today, where we will focus on how projects can integrate more sustainable waste management practices in construction projects for both new and existing buildings. This course describes conventional landfill and incineration practices and compares them to more environmentally friendly options, such as recycling or reusing project materials. The course focuses on waste management during construction and demolition activities. However, operational waste management strategies will also be discussed. We will look at the lead credits that relate to waste management and at the strategies that projects may employ to earn these credits. When reducing the amount of waste that is sent to landfill, it is helpful to consider the waste hierarchy pictured here. While no one solution will eliminate all waste generated through construction activities, projects can achieve near 100% diversion with careful planning and by sticking to this hierarchy. At the top, we have waste minimization, also called source reduction. By reducing the materials that are consumed, projects will be left with less waste to get rid of in the end. This could mean that projects reduce over-ordering of lumber and other supplies, or order in bulk to reduce packaging and deliveries. Waste minimization can also be a consideration for the design phase of a project. Designers can specify materials that will not include many waste products and can develop the design so that less scrap will need to be cut on site. An example of this might be creating rooms that are sized and shaped to accommodate flooring materials, or using the measurement of the room to determine what dimension of stone or tile to use, so that it will not need to be cut around the edges. Using prefabricated components can also reduce the amount of waste generated, and may speed up construction schedules as well. Other strategies for waste minimization include going paperless whenever possible, keeping reusable supplies rather than disposable products, and measuring cuts to make the most efficient use of the project materials. The Materials and Resources section of each of the LEED rating systems look to reduce the environmental impacts associated with sourcing, installation, and maintenance of project materials. Some of the major themes that relate to project materials across rating systems are pictured here. Material reuse saves energy and natural resources, as fewer new materials will need to be created. This would also qualify as a waste minimization strategy for waste management, as reusing building elements will reduce the construction and demolition waste that will need to be hauled from a project. Recycled content reduces the waste from harvesting new raw materials and makes use of materials that have already been through the manufacturing cycle and would otherwise end up in a landfill. Project elements that include rapidly renewable components will reduce the footprint of the land that is required to produce the raw materials for the product, and regional sourcing cuts down on the transportation energy required to get project materials to the building site. Considering project materials will help to make a building greener, both in the construction and operational phases. We will not go into detail on all of the material credits here. However, they are all integral to creating a comprehensive strategy for reducing the environmental impact of a project's waste stream. We will start by looking at the only prerequisite for the Materials and Resources section, which deals with both the designation of an area for the collection of recyclable materials. All LEED B, D, and C buildings must provide an area where recycled materials can be collected, even if a recycling program is not in place for the building at the time of certification. This allows a building the option to institute a recycling plan in the future if the resources to do so become available, or if occupant interest increases. The area should be set up to collect paper, glass, plastic, metal, and corrugated cardboard. However, it may be beneficial to consider other materials for collection, depending on the function of the building. For instance, an office building might set up an area to collect printer cartridges, or a retail store might collect plastic shopping bags. The prerequisite does not have a requirement for the size of the recycling collection area. However, there is a recommended minimum area based on building square footage. The recycling area should be situated such that collected materials will not poorly affect the air quality in the building, and appropriate signage should be included so that occupants will not mistakenly contaminate collection bins with non-recyclable waste. We will now conclude with a look at 2 case study projects that were able to use some of the waste reduction strategies we've discussed today to reduce their environmental footprint and become more resource efficient. The first project that we will look at is a LEED Platinum home in Windermere, Florida. This home was able to meet the waste management prerequisite by creating a waste management plan and recording the diversion rates, and also managed to divert over 88% of the waste created during construction. This qualified the project for 3 credit points for waste diversion, as we saw in the chart earlier.